Third row of the starting grid behind them, going to be very competitive behind the top four. Jamie Ambrose versus Danish Chen. And then we'll have Paco Miguel Sarmiento alongside Stefano Badani for the Fireball Motorsport team. Rounding out the top 10, Rafael Kamal and Daniel Jegai for Stratos. Then Lucas Leongji and Nordis Kafour in the Fireball. Seshan Gunasekara and Wadapong Yamchan. Kurishe Gutta is beside Melvin Shane. And then we'll have Li Wei Tsen and Lewis Ung to complete the 18 kart field. So just one driver from Senior X30 is not going to make it to our final. And we will find out in the next 14 laps who that's going to be. But is it going to be a serious run for Jaden Pope to the victory? Or will he find it tough once again? Certainly the battles have been very intense indeed so far across Senior X30. Only 3 drivers have managed to take victories in races over the heats. Leonardo Mori has got it done on one occasion. Jaden Pope has done it twice. Alex Machado has done it 3 times and then backed it up with a super heat. So can Jaden Pope make it a super heat victory as well? So as the drivers warm up the tyres and brakes to the optimum temperature, they know exactly how tricky things are about to get. It will certainly be a tough run for all of the contenders up in the leading end of the dais. But after the performances of the big guns up at the sharp end in Senior X30, it's always going to be a very solid run from Jaden Pope up at the sharp end, along with Zadiev Raikal. Expect big things from the Malaysian, the former junior champion in 2024. Now, of course, in his second year of Senior X30 competition. And looking forward to seeing some really exciting runs from him. We got ourselves closer and closer to the big show. 4 races to come after this one, and those will be the IWF ticket races. The winners in Cadet, Junior, Senior, and Master in the finals later will be going to Viterbo in October. Jaden Pope beside Zadiev Raikal. Then Travis Teoh alongside Putra Adam. Jamie Ambrose will be in the mix there with Danish Chen. This is going to be a very exciting start. A lot of drivers wanting to make some big progress as Jaden Pope brings them out of the tram lines. Are we racing straight away? We will do not. So it was a false start in the end there, called by the race director, Dan Ashton. So we are not under starters' orders. So we roll the dice back in again, and the drivers will form up in their positions as they were before. And we'll try and get this race under starters' orders again, but it's definitely going to be tricky for Jaden Pope on pole position. He certainly knows how tricky it can get at the sharp end. And so all of our Senior X30 drivers are trying to make it into that final grid. Only one chance to do it. Sadly, there's only going to be one driver from Senior X30 that will not make it there. So they've got to take advantage of the situation as much as they possibly can. So we'll see what can be made of this race by Jaden Pope and Zadiev Raikal on the front row. Are we going to get to see a third win of the weekend for Jaden Pope, or will a completely new winner emerge from this race? It's got to be one of the two, because Machado and Mori have already raced and they were the previous winners over the course of the weekend. So now it's Jaden Pope or a completely fresh face on the first position. We'll see who it's going to be. So Pope and Raikal back up the field to a crawl. And as they go into their 2 tram lines, this is going to be a rip-roarer as they get themselves into position. The focus revs rise and we go racing in LYL now. Great start by Raikal, but is it going to be a better start from Pope? Raikal's going to try and keep the energy of this, running right round the outside on the parallel. He'll try and keep it together from the far side, but it is going to be Pope from the second place man, Putra Adam, who works his way forward in the barrel art. Everybody else works their way through the S's, and it's a fantastic start from Putra Adam. Already started to take on Jaden Pope. There was a whiff of a gap left open, but Raikal couldn't capitalize on it. And so they work their way through halfway around the opening lap. It is a fantastic start from Pope and Adam. Jaden Pope's already got big opposition, and up the inside, that's going to be Raikal returning the favor on his teammate. So that was Travis Teoh and Zariev Raikal dueling away for position initially, and Raikal getting the move to get back into third place on Teoh. Danish Chen is in the mix. He got through on Travis Teoh as well. But certainly up front, it is Jaden Pope and Putra Adam. Then it's Raikal, Chen, Teoh. And in sixth place, that is the fireball of Stefano Badani. So as they work their way through at the end of the lap, it's certainly going well for Jaden Pope and Putra Adam. But then there's a trio of Paralympians trying to close up on them, certainly making life difficult for our race leader. So Jaden Pope still going well in front of Adam. Then Raikal, Chen, Teoh, Badani, Kamal, Sarmiento and Ambrose. Riley Curry is the man that joins them in the top 10. So Danish Chen going after his teammate Zariev Raikal. These two have never really competed on the same bit of racetrack before. So Danish Chen going after it. Big run on the inside from Jamie Ambrose. He makes the dive on Paco Migos Sarmiento, but he runs wide on the exit. And so Ambrose not quite able to finish that one off. Now he's got pressure from the Birolart behind him of Riley Curry. So the Australian is trying to get through on Ambrose. And here's Norris Gafour trying to get involved in this one as well, the Singaporean from Fireball Motorsport. Norris Gafour's had quite the journey, having competed in racing in single-seaters in the Middle East, India, and in Southeast Asia. Jaden Pope, Putra Adam, Zariev Raikal, Danish Chen and Travis Teoh. All making good opportunities go their way. Down to the braking zone again, through the hairpin, and cooking up a storm into the left. Hoping for another solid run. Pope, Adam, Raikal, Chen, Teoh, Padani. Kamal is B7 from Sarmiento, Ambrose and Curry, then Gafour, Gunasekara, Kawa, Gutta and Yamchan. So the three Paralympians, Raikal, Chen and Teoh, certainly working in close unison as they try and work their way further forward. It's not going to be an easy one. Still some big pressure cookers are moving forward as they work their way to the S's. It's going to be a tricky battle as further back we have an issue for Sishan Gunasekara. He seems to have lost a couple of positions further back. And it looks as though we have no further action from Jonas Tan or Jerry G. Well, they were in the previous race. I'm not entirely sure why they're showing up on this timing screen board. But Pope is your leader from Adam. Pope has the advantage now of 0.8 of a second, and Putra Adam is falling into the clutches of Zariev Raikal. Raikal is going to try and make his bid here to go in a second position. He thinks better of it. He's waiting his moment. So Raikal, Chen and Teoh all on the back of Putra Adam. Can the RL Karting Birolart maintain his position? Raikal really is giving him some pressure as Jaden Pope stretches the advantage up front. So with 11 laps to go, the Australian Jaden Pope is in commanding form. Here comes Raikal on the inside of Putra Adam, and that's P2. Lovely bit of driving from Raikal. So Raikal finds a nice slice and dice on the inside of the hairpin. Watch out though, because Danish Chen will want to repeat the move on Putra Adam. It's important for Putra Adam to keep his cool. So Pope, Raikal, Adam, and then Chen, Teoh, Padani, Kamal, Sarmiento, Ambrose and Curry from Gafour, Kawa and Yamchan. Then Lewis Ung, Melvin Shane, and then Li Wei-Tsien from Sishan Gunasekara and Krishe Gutta. Down on the far side of the course, you can see that Putra Adam's really struggling for tyre degradation now. As up to the inside, here comes Danish Chen. Adam won't let him have it easy. And Chen gets a firm fist in his face there as Travis Teoh can now move forward on Danish Chen. Here comes the bid on the inside. That's a late bid on the move from Danish Chen, and that opens the door for Stefano Badani and Rafael Kamal to wrestle their way past. And there goes Paco Migos Sarmiento as well. Danish Chen tumbles all the way to P8. Big bid from Badani. Comes out of nowhere and storms through past Travis Teoh. That's P4 now for Stefano Badani. Great to see Fireball consistently running in the top 5 again. Pope, Raikal, Adam, Badani, Teoh, Kamal and Sarmiento. There are Kamal and Sarmiento still dueling away. Danish Chen's behind them. And Jamie Ambrose trying to get in on the action again as well. But he's a good couple of seconds back from them at this point. So he's got a lot of ground to make up. 9 laps remaining as Jaden Pope goes across the line. Raikal, then Putra Adam, Padani and Teoh. Well, the top 5 certainly looks to be settling down a little bit. Well, where's going to be the big bid up the inside? There goes Jamie Ambrose. He takes on the move on Danish Chen, and that's P8. He has managed to make that one work in his favour. Up to the hairpin. And so now Ambrose will set off after Paco Sarmiento and Danish Chen. 2 more teammates racing each other for 7th and 8th place. So now down the inside, here comes the move from Paco Amigo Sarmiento. Gets the move on Kamal, but on the exit, he's had to let him go again. And now Ambrose will find his move on the inside. Oh, that's really backfired for Sarmiento because Chen gets through as well. He makes up 1, runs wide and loses 3. Big disappointment for Paco Amigo Sarmiento. He wanted a lot more than that. It's very difficult to maintain the momentum once it's all gone awry. Now another move is going to come up the inside. That's going to be the Birillard of Riley Curry. So Riley Curry gets ahead now of Paco Sarmiento. There's still more to do as Sarmiento gets back to the inside line and goes wheel to wheel with Riley Curry. Is that going to be enough to get through? It is. He retakes the position, so Sarmiento is back into 9th position. Down to the hairpin. Pope still has a second on Zaria Vrykal. I thought there might be a little bit more opposition than this, but Jaden Pope really sensible and very smart in the opening stages. So Jaden Pope keeps it together. Vrykal second. Adam, Padani, Teoh, Kamal, Ambrose, Chen, Sarmiento, Curry and Gafour. Even Karine Kaur is not that far away from this train either. She's joining in at the back of the queue. And even Wadapong Yamchan, if they keep squabbling, has a chance to get back into this. Currently down in 13th. But there's still some good overtakes to come. There's Ambrose. P7 ahead of Danish Chen. Behind is Sarmiento and then Riley Curry, Gafour, Kaur and Yamchan. Through turn 1. In the draft, trying to make the overtaking move work in his favour, and Ambrose dives in on Kamal. So Jamie Ambrose into P6 past Rafael Kamal. Danish Chen is keen to join him. Danish Chen wants the move on the inside, and he leaves it late, but he makes it work. Danish Chen is there, and look who's joined in. That's a big lunge from the Birillard. Riley Curry has got past Kamal and Sarmiento in a hair's breadth. Oh, contact! Kamal and Sarmiento. Sarmiento almost went airborne. He manages to keep it in a straight line, but Paco Amigo Sarmiento was almost seeing stars. Pope, Raikal, Adam, Padani, Teoh, and now Ambrose gets in a P6 after Chen, Curry, Kamal, Sarmiento, Kaur, Gafour, and Yamchan have settled their differences. Here comes another bid from Sarmiento, closing up on Rafael Kamal. Out of the final turn and along the home stretch. Massive gains to be made in the toe. But still no change up front is there. Pope, Raikal, Adam, Padani, Teoh and Ambrose. Still not a big bid from the contenders to come here. We're waiting to see if there's another big lunge from Curry on Danish Chen. And here comes Karine Kaur. She now fancies a look at Paco Sarmiento. Nordis Gafour and Wadapong Yamchan have joined in. But Ambrose is trying to get away. So there could still be some good battles to come here. Jamie Ambrose has a problem with his transponder. But I can promise you he is still there, riding the range in front of Danish Chen for P6. Chen was running the gauntlet there, almost like a half pipe on a skateboard across the curbs. But Riley Curry now fancies a look to the inside line. Danish Chen's going to be vulnerable because Riley Curry is looking good for an opportunity. So far, so good. But there's still more opposition coming. Here comes Karine Kaur. And a move on the inside from Sarmiento to try and take on Rafael Kamal. I'm not sure if that finished off. It did, and Karine Kaur's gone with him. Sarmiento's through, Carr is through, Kamal's going to get straight back on the inside of Karim Carr, and there's a move to come through, passed around the outside from the hard-charging fireball of Norris Gafour. He comes through on Karim Carr, Kamal is defending, and Wadapong Yangchan has caught right up to the tail of Karim Carr. This midfield battle really is sensational on these age-old tyres. So there is Karim Carr trying to shake off Wadapong Yangchan, collision in front! That's gone terribly wrong for Kamal and Gafour, and they've run wide and lost a lot of ground. Meanwhile, here's Padani versus Teoh. Stefano Padani, P4, Travis Teoh, P5. And you can see that there's a lot of ignominy between these two men. Kamal and Gafour, they're now falling into the clutches of Melvin Shane, and they're in real jeopardy of dropping even further back. So Pope, Raikal, Adam, Padani, Teoh. It stays the same. But now we've got Chen and Curry attacking Jamie Ambrose with 4 laps remaining. Is there going to be a change of position? Well, not down in the braking zone for turn 3, there isn't. But there might be a bit of a push here from on the inside line. That was the wrong time to leave the battle, but you can see just how difficult this midfield battle is getting. That's Karim Carr. Karim Carr is off and in the middle of the circuit as well. Karim Carr has pulled off at the final turn. Now, this could be a slow board. She's just off the racing line, but it's just close enough on the final turn that that could end up being a neutralization, and that could really change things with 3 laps to go. Well, I think we might just get away with that because the marshals have been very quick to move Karim Carr's cart out of the way, so I think that'll just be covered with a yellow flag. So Karim Carr will have to watch the rest of this race from the marshals post, but we can continue on under racing conditions with 3 to go for Jaden Pope ahead of Zaria Raikal. But look at Raikal. Oh, sorry, this is Teoh. His teammate is on the back of Stefano Padani. So Padani versus Teoh. Padani is driving such a smooth weekend here. Of all of the drivers out in the top 5, he's been one of the few to not get into anybody else's incidents. He's kept a clean kart, a clean front fairing, and those tyres look fairly spent, but in a very even way on the degradation. So even Travis Teoh, with his massive experience out in this part of the world, Padani is showing him a clean pair of heels. He's a real talent. Now Padani is a second away from Putra Adam, and with this much degradation on the Kart Republic Fireball, it's looking unlikely he'll gain the ground needed to challenge Putra Adam for 3rd. But you know what? There's a genuine podium on the rise here for Padani. He can get this working really well in the closing stages. And if he sets up a good race on those slick tyres later, he'll be very tough to overtake. 2 to go. Zaria Raikal is within half a second of Jaden Pope for the first time since the start. So Raikal may get one final bite at the cherry here on Jaden Pope, the race leader. But he's going to need perfect slipstream and perfect kart control. Here comes Teoh, gets the move on Padani. Padani straight back for the undercut. Oh, up in the air! Goodness me, Teoh forces the issue, gets through, up in the air, both drivers on the curbs. And somehow, despite going airborne, Travis Teoh lands it on all 4 wheels and stays in front. Oh, and there's more problems further back, as now we've got an issue with the Birilla. Ambrose is tangled with Riley Curry. And Riley Curry has come to a stop. He can't believe it. Riley Curry, absolutely furious. So the Birilla Asia driver pulls to a standstill. What is it with the Australians today? They're not having a lot of luck, unless, of course, their name starts with a J. Jaden Pope into the last lap. He's got 4 tenths on Raikal, but the Kart Republic from top 1 seems to have the legs on the parallel. Look at Raikal. He really is twitching with anticipation, trying to get the exertion further into the corner to close up on the Kart Republic. But even Zaria Raikal on the DRM parallel can't get close enough to Jaden Pope. This could end up being a season-long deal if top 1 fancy their chances on the top spot, because Raikal is working so hard to get close here. Jaden Pope's still in the mix. We're still waiting to see if Raikal can get close enough. Still battles right on the last lap then between Danish Chen and Paco Miguel Sarmiento further back. Is Ryko going to get one final bid? I don't think so. He's not close enough to Jaden Pope. He can't really attack him. And so down the drop, it's going to be for the third time in 4 starts. Out of the final turn comes Jaden Pope, and it's almost a clean sweep. 3 out of 4 for Jaden Pope and Top 1 Motorsport. Second for Zaria Vrykal, and third and steady for Putra Adam in front of Travis Teoh. Stefano Badani and Danish Chen should just come home in front of Paco Sarmiento. It really was that close, goodness me. A few hundredths of a second in it. Ambrose comes home 8th from Yamchan and Nuris Gafour. So it really is a tough one all the way to the bitter end after a very tricky race run indeed. And so Jaden Pope makes it 3 wins out of 4 starts, and a very tricky battle for sure comes to a conclusion in the Australians' favour. Even Zaria Vrykal, with all his youth, exuberance and wisdom, has got not quite enough. So the Paralympic team will be wanting to find that little bit of extra pace in the toe, because at the moment it's only Alex Machado and Jaden Pope who can really consistently string the wins together. But now, of course, they've got to go head-to-head for the final, and that will be a stunning race. And of course, whoever wins between those two in the final, with Alex Machado versus Jaden Pope, the winner of that race will take us to the IWF ticket.